Look who's here, former acting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf. Sir, it's good to see you again. Okay, so the Biden White House is now bringing back a Trump border rule. It says illegal immigrants must first apply for asylum in the country they first step into, that they got to make their first asylum claim. But didn't the Democrats and media slam Trump for that?
Well, they certainly did. We issued a rule very similar to this in 2019, and in 20 they were very opposed to it. On the surface, it feels and it seems and it certainly sounds like a rule that we published in the Trump administration. But like anything when dealing with the Biden administration and the border, the devil's in the details. And the more that you pull back and the more that you look at this 150-page rule, the more glaring problems that you see. There's so many exemptions. There's so many different ways that this doesn't apply to different populations. There's so many loopholes here. It's not going to be effective at the end of the day. And I'll just give you a couple of examples. It doesn't apply to all of the aliens that use the CBP One app that they have been advertising. So if you want to enter the country and be released on asylum, all you have to do is apply through this app, and this asylum bar does not apply to you. Or if you say, look, I can't access the app for any unknown reason, they exempt you out of it. They exempt all children, all family members. That's about 700,000 individuals. Or they say if there's any other compelling reason that you can't, that an adjudicator wants to exempt you, they can do that. So there's so many different ways to get around this rule. It's just more smoke and mirrors, unfortunately, from this administration when it comes to real border security measures.
But why put up the smoke and mirrors?
Well, I think what they're saying is they're in real trouble, not only from a Republican majority in the House, but even from other members of their own party are saying you've got to do more on border security. They are looking at a May 11th date, Title 42 likely ending, and they know that there's going to be an additional rush on that border, and they know they need to be at least vocal, at least being seen to do something. But they're unwilling really to make some hard decisions. They could have really taken a look at the Trump asylum bar rule that we implemented. We had 3 common sense exceptions in there. What they did is they took those 3 exceptions and then they multiplied them by 3. So you have many more exceptions in there. It's just not going to do what they intended to do.
So we know we're seeing again a government regulatory filing that the border crisis is about to get worse when the administration gets rid of the Trump pandemic Title 42 policy. I mean, that's going to happen this spring. We're seeing illegal crossings could about triple to nearly 15,000 a day.
Well, that's exactly right. And I say smoke and mirrors, right, because the Biden administration announced a plan to parole individuals into the country and to use this app. And they're saying that the border numbers continue to fall, and it's just not the case. The demand is still there. They're simply coming through ports of entry and being released into American communities. So it's really it's a question of how the Biden administration is counting these individuals coming into the country. There's no deterrence in the system. They're simply figuring out how to facilitate and process more and more of these individuals into the country. Until you have some deterrence, until you have some messaging that backs up that deterrence, it's not going to be effective.
Chad Wolf, thanks for joining us tonight. It's good to see you.
All right.